Go back to that. There you go. Right, you're good to go.
So tiny.
Oh, you can make it full screen.
You right-click and focus participant.
Oh, okay.
Alright, I'll catch you guys in about half hour.
Hide all your
Okay.
porn.
See.
I'll be back too. I gotta do something real quick.
Okay. Alright, what's the first order of business? We're gonna go over your race data, Jen, or?
But do you want to start on Motec?
If you want.
Okay. This is a Sebring, well, half a tin or so, like 50 liters of fuel.
So is this your race data, or is this just a long test?
No, I started to do this thing to check a bit how the tires would hold, and without making any kind of setup, just softening the springs, reducing a bit the wings, and putting the locks at 50%. And then also have a bit of the fuel per lap to know more or less how much is it. The fast lap is 205. Yeah, but it's like the tires are have a lot more camber than they need to be. They need to have, because as you can see, the front rest on the last core, on the last turn, this one, the difference is massive.
What camber were you running for?
The default.
Oh, the default, so...
Default camber and default caster.
Okay.
The rear ones are a bit better. Maybe the center are a bit too hot, but that could be the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whose is this?
This is Jen's data for a test he did on... Is it Sebring?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is for WEC.
The wear is with the soft is like 1% per lap. So.
And what compound is that?
The soft, the S6.
Okay.
So, well, and with the default setup, tweaking it may reduce it a bit, because also you have a few slides and some kind of spins, not a full turnaround spin, but the rear going out. Yeah, as you can see. Yeah.
How are they How are the correct?
Basically, entering the turn a bit too fast and sliding for a few meters. Even the suspension, I think it could be even softer because you can see the minimum is still quite high.
Okay, yeah. So with the suspension data, what are you calculating for?
This is the height. So this is to check if the car is bottoming out. You can see it doesn't. So that could be the graph to see where it bottoms out. Then here the history.
So does that show just a average?
A history of the speeds of the suspension.
Okay. Motec.
That's across the whole scene. So before I check then, I think the suspension are quite good, but maybe a bit more dampening on the high speeds.
So I don't know. I'm having trouble understanding what this graph is.
This is this bump and rebound of the dampers.
Okay.
This is the velocity, and this tells you the percentage of time. Let's say the speed was like almost zero or zero. Then you can see here this is zero in the middle, and as it goes away, it increases the speed. So here you have the time on the low speed rebound, the percentage of the time it spent like before 25 millimeters per second, I think it is. Yeah. So this means that 5% of the time it has this speed. The suspension, the velocity, because this is calculated with the suspension velocities.
Oh, okay. So it's like an average of the stint or whatever. Like, however.
Yeah. Well, the selected here. This
Yeah.
selected the whole thing, but you can go lap by lap.
Okay.
So this is like 22 10 or 23% of the time the suspension are like almost steel or almost steel. Then here you have the time is 34% of the time the suspension is on low speed bump, 38 on low speed rebound, then here 13.9 on high speed bump, and 14 on the high speed rebound.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. That's actually really useful. So then you can tune
and this
to
is
whatever is
the
being
average
used in this.
the average speed of the bump and rebound.
Okay.
This is for each wheel, and then I have this to compare all wheels together. So to see the differences.
Ideally, would they all be the same if it were set up perfectly?
Yeah, especially bump rebound.
Okay.
Because now the speed, well, you can see that the curve here is a bit more pronounced. Well, less. It goes away from here, this part earlier. That means that the speed on the rebound is higher.
Okay.
But on high speeds, like here, it's the bump, so I think go with a higher high speed bump and rebound and a bit of low speed rebound. More or less all wheels. Well, but that also depends on how many curves you hit and how the curves are, if they are high or not. So the second turn and 3, I go almost completely across the curve, hitting it hard. So yeah, you can see you can select a smaller portion, and this is how it. So this is the first part of the track, like this the market with the black part.
Yep.
This is the histogram of that part, so you see the high speed is much higher, but that's also because of the curves. So as you can see, the low speed is much stable, but the high speed has more velocities, or extreme velocities. So you can see the rebound here is much higher than this part, and this as well. But this is the part hits this turn, and then this is when it hits this turn curve, and this turn and pass it without hitting the inner curve, maybe the outside, and are quite high. More or less every lap is the same.
Yeah, it's probably just which bumps and curves you hit that makes it change a little bit.
Yeah. So I think adding a bit more rebound dampening and possibly a bit of high speed bump for the curves on both sides. And this the yellow this graph is the oversteer with the speed. Well, that's oversteer if it's positive. If it's negative, it's understeer. So you can see it has a lot of understeer.
How did you have to write any special like math formula or whatever in Motec? Because I think I tried to put oversteer.
The oversteer is built in, but it uses the wrong channel.
Oh, it does.
You can see the oversteer and oversteer speed weight in it, but it uses different the steer angle, and with the Motec plugin it doesn't steer it as this channel. It's steering wheel position. But well, you need the wheelbase added as a constant. I think I have it somewhere. Tire maybe. Or is it locked?
I'm not sure.
It's locked. So yeah, I just copied from the Motec official, and then add the user to with colliding, and change that channel.
Okay.
Okay, sorry guys, sound check.
Yep, can hear you.
Great stuff.
Also, I did this computation of the percentage of the lap you are on throttle, on brake, and coasting for all laps. Like this, I don't know why the first lap it doesn't show. I have to check that. But yeah, this is the average. The first lap is the 12. This is the sections. These colors mean the light green is this time is within 1 second of the fastest, marked as, and the dark green is within 2 seconds. The other ones are more than 2 seconds.
And is the blue column on the right, is that the theoretical best or?
No, it's your best time.
Yeah.
Yeah, from all laps you see. Here on lap 14, I did my best start lane from start finish line until turn 1. This was my best time, and these are all within 1 second. This is not. This is this.
100th of a second, right? 100th of a second.
No, 1%.
1%, right?
This.
Okay.
You can either remove this as you want.
Okay.
And just show the minimums and eclectic and totals and stuff. This is the eclectic. This is the best times for each section, and this is the your absolute best time if you did every section like this, the blues. And this rolling minimum, it's I think it's grabbing the best times according, well, but not the complete best times, but the overall best, if without having to compromise another section or something like that. So as you can see, here is the best first section, but the turn 1 is a lot slower than the other, because this is within 1% of the best turn 1 I did, and is like in trying to grab the best times, but as together as possible. So one after the other without having to go like the best, because one best time may the total absolute best time may cause the next section to be slower because of the exit or entry speed or whatever.
Yeah, we get that. I think so. Your rolling minimum is really your theoretical best. That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the all totals for each lap. Well, this the eclectic you can hide it. Like, yeah. Done. But well, yeah, it shows at least the minimum time. This is a track report. It's a color-coded map with the throttle application and g-force of acceleration. And this black is that there's the throttle is below 15% and no acceleration, obviously. And here you have the minimum speed of that section. So mostly each turn, as well as gear changes. And at the end of the straight, the max speed, as well as the RPMs for each turn. This hairpin, I don't know how to properly take it.
It says tire locking in the top right corner. Does it show you that as well?
I have a channel, but I think I had to re-add it because I changed it or something.
Wait, which hairpin is that?
It's after the first sector, that kind of short straight. I think you go under a bridge or something.
Yeah, there's a bridge just after that little chicane, and then you do that short straight, and then there's a hairpin. Is that the one?
Yeah. Look at the track. This is the start-finish line. After the first turns, when you have that sweeper, that hairpin. Yeah, that hairpin that is a hairpin and then a left turn that you almost go straight.
Yeah, it's like a hairpin into a chicane kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But this as it's this track is generated by the G-forces. It shows like instead of the track layout, your path. As you can see here, it's much more straight than it would be if it was the layout shown, as well as this part. This goes like
it's a lot more
this.
Straight.
Yeah, because it's the generated with G-force and of the car for one lap. From one lap, you select.
A lot of useful information on there, though. So that's I didn't know how to read that map before, so that's good.
Yeah. The good point is you get the minimum speed of that corner and the revs you have, and as well as the max speed at the end of the straight. Also mark the sections. This can be modified. Let me see what happens with the tire lock.
So is that something you're calculating with maths, the tire lock?
Yeah. For now, I try to calculate the slip of the acceleration and deceleration of slip of the tire, and that if the slip is 1, it's because the tire is completely locked. So I then have a check if with a totally arbitrary value of 0.9 to mark it as locked. Even if it's not completely locked, the difference in speed is a lot. So count it as maybe too aggressive on the brakes.
What car is this you're driving? Yeah.
The Aston Martin.
Okay, cool.
It's the GT car we're using for the endurance series.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Jan was in the P1 or the P2 or whatever it is, or the GT.
Now it should appear this color if the tire is locked.
That's definitely useful.
Yeah, especially here. This is I went too hard on the last turn and hit the barrier, but before I locked the brakes.
Yeah, that's a
So
tough turn.
yeah, this is the lock. Change the color to make it more pronounced.
So red is bad.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that tire lock calculated by something in Motec or?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's just a lot of the ones given
Yeah,
to
this
us.
is the tire slip.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is the check of the lock, and this is just like show one if any tire is locked. It's a bit of a hack way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this value is either 0 or 1. So then I just add all together, and if it's greater than 0, then that means at least 1 is locked. So show it.
Okay, I see.
So you can see that this zone is where I locked the tires. But nowhere else because of the ABS.
So turn 2, it looks like there's a bit of red there. Is that something else?
No, it's the car position.
Okay, gotcha.
This can be moved. Yeah, is if you move it here. I just put it.
Yeah, no, I understand. I just wasn't sure what that red dot was.
It's so. Also, you can select a shorter region of the track, and it will show without these black borders to focus on the part is. You can see it. So it is to select on the graphs to focus on one point. You can move or select another parts. And this is the graph of the tire slip. As you can see, it's don't know why it's like this, but what I locked, you can see is
You slipping a lot.
Could it just be either slipping or scrubbing?
yeah, but I don't know why so much. It's like 0.4.
Be like really weird under oversteer, understeer.
No, because it's all tires. I don't know if it's the math, it's wrong or something.
Oh, so you're saying it's like constantly it's constantly saying that it's slipping?
Yeah.
I mean, don't tires actually do that in real life though?
Well, if you're on a straight, then the tire isn't moving at a different speed compared to the ground.
No, it could be, but no, I don't think it would be so much. Like,
Well, it's only a point. What is it? 0.1 variance? Not even.
0.1 or
yeah, it's for braking, it's 1, the maximum, because that means the tire is completely stopped, it's not turning at all, and the speed is not 0.
How much is it slipping on the straights?
0.5. That could be the. So that means the
How much is a slip in the corners versus straights?
let's see,
Yeah,
this
there's
turn,
something
it's
wrong with the zero line, right? The zero line's in the wrong place.
I think it's just adjusting
it's,
to
it's more or less the same. Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't think that's
turn
slippage.
12.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like the zero line should be where the 0.4 line is, or minus 0.4 line, and then it would be right.
Maybe just
Yeah, but I don't know why.
Yeah, it's just something in the calculation, maybe.
Maybe the units.
Well, from what I understand in real tires, that makes sense. Because tires never 100% grip the ground. It's always slipping somewhat, even if it's a minute amount.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but 0.5
this is
explains
like
a lot.
0.5. That means the ground speed minus the
Yeah, that's what I'm curious as to how much it slips in the corners. Because I know tires tend to slip more, or the outside tires tend to slip more in the corners than the inside tires do, or is it the other way around?
this is turn 12.
So yeah, that makes sense. It's moved a little bit in either direction from that wherever the zero line should be.
In a straight is like constant, but moved when maybe it's the units,
I think it's the units or something. Yeah, definitely looking at that.
right? No.
Did I miss anything? I just came back.
No.
We're trying to figure out the tire slip calculation right now. Because the line's quite constant or around minus 0.4, 0.5, I think I could say that's where the zero should be. And there's just something in the calculation.
Well, I don't know if zero would make sense.
No, but what I mean by that is it'll always be either side of that zero line, but that's where the zero line should be. So there would always be some slip, but it would be just a little bit either side of that zero line.
Yeah, because I'm just curious if it's slipping 0.4 in the straights and then slipping like 0.5, it doesn't make too much sense to me. But if it was like 0.4 in the straights and then like 1 in the corner, or however the
hold on. I'll just call my
dynamics.
friend up Pirelli.
Yeah, let me call my friend at a Michelin. Anybody who speak French? Because I don't.
Maybe it's just backwards.
I don't know. I mean, it still works for if you want to spot just
yeah,
obvious stuff, but if you really want to
exactly.
use it,
I think I thought of just using this as if it's one. It's like this. Duct brakes are this the wheel speed is 0. then I think it's backwards this, but whatever.
I don't do math, so
No, just check if the wheels are not rotating and the speed is not 0 or not close to 0. Then it's locked. The wheel is locked. But I don't know if to just simply do that, like.
I think for our purposes, it's working so long as we understand that minus 0.4 isn't really minus 0.4 or 0.5.
I'm just amazed at how much Jan knows his way around Motec.
It's pretty impressive.
You got
Oh,
all
yeah.
that.
Look, he's
all
got
those
it.
formulas and stuff really figured out.
I just add 0.4.
That's cheating.
math.
But I think that's what it
your
looks
way.
like. Yeah, you should have done that without telling us, and we would have just thought you'd fixed it.
But no, the good part is the tire lock at least works, so don't mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Problem solved.
So, is this where you've been talking about, because I've missed the first half hour, is this where you've been talking about minimum corner speed?
No, we checked a bit suspension and tires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were talking about suspension and tire stuff for the
Like the histogram.
Yep.
So we we think it needs more dampening on the high bump and the rebound on 4 wheels on all 4 corners.
And why do you say that? Because it's not like a pyramid.
No, especially this part. You see
It's too low.
it's a bit higher even. It grows.
Okay.
So yeah, this had to be a bit more flat.
Okay.
And also there's more time on the low speed. Well, this is only 1 lap, as you can see. Depending on the lap, it changes.
You can
So
highlight all the laps, can't you? That's it.
you can see on all laps it's more or less good, but I think a bit more dampening on high speed, because I took especially the second and third turns. I just go over the curb all I can, and then after the hairpin I just go almost straight, going all on top the outside curb.
Yep.
So that may help a bit.
And what is the unit on the x-axis there? Is that frequency on the x-axis?
This,
Yeah,
it's the speed, I think.
the speed. Okay.
Well, you have, if you need to change it and stuff, but
No, that's okay. I was just checking what that was.
So that's made up of 188,000 samples.
yeah, it's somewhere. Yeah,
Middle left.
this.
Yeah.
This is the you see here the range, the speed. I think should be in millimeters per second.
Oh yeah, I see it.
And the tires, the soft tires hold quite well. An average of around 1%, the S6.
Yes.
Yeah, and understeering a lot. Especially on the last corner, as I don't know how to take it.
The last corner is like a double apex.
Yeah, but I don't know why it's either I brake too hard, or I brake too much or too little. I can get the perfect point. It's either going almost hitting the wall and then sliding with understeer on acceleration, or braking too little and then I think I have to brake even more and risk a spin because it's while turning to prevent hitting the outer wall.
It's a tough corner, buddy. That's the Sebring corner right there. That's a tough corner.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I understand, you kind of brake a bit at the 50, get it turned in, and then you straighten out a bit, and then you start braking more.
Yeah, definitely a double brake zone through that corner, and I find taking it tighter is normally safer. Not always faster, but normally it's more consistent.
Yeah, what I do is at the 100 mark, I turn to the inner wall, passing next to it, braking, and then I brake a little bit on and off. Meanwhile, I'm turning, and when I'm about under the bridge or so, I start acceleration.
Let's have a quick look at you braking through that corner.
I'm putting meters.
Do you shift T? Come on, shift T so we can see it. There you go.
Here is when I start. No, wait. I'm putting. I let the steering angle. You can see it's braking straight.
Yep.
Then start turning.
Okay. Turning with no brake pressure applied.
No, but this is quite critical for me because I turn a bit, but the rear it's twitchy.
Okay.
And also it's the slab because you can see here I brake a little bit while turning. Here,
Yep.
it's almost at the mid corner.
Do you have a down run? I see it. I think the steering wheel thing.
Yeah, it's that light blue line. Yeah.
So that's 30 degrees, or how is that measured in? Yeah, 30 degrees.
Degrees.
Right?
So just keep moving that blue vertical line. Hold on. Carry on what you're doing. So I just want to see. Okay.
I can put it slower.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to go to the sort of middle of the apex on the map. If you drag that blue line, so it's in the middle, so that red dot. Yeah, that's it. Just there. So that's kind of like where maybe in theory you'd consider the apex, but you're still holding that position. And when do you start steering back? So if you move the blue vertical line till it drops off on the blue steering angle, yeah, there. So it's only there that you're opening up the wheel. You've got that held.
Yeah, because it doesn't turn. So I start at the first apex. I think I get it right, but I can get to the second apex because I'm either too wide or too fast, and the car doesn't turn in.
Yeah, so it's a tough corner, that.
Yeah, try hugging it a bit tighter though, I would say initially, and then you'll get a better feel for that one. That's what I've tended to do through there.
Next time I'll try on start turning in a bit later and harder, and then brake on a straight. See if I can get it.
Is this not one of those corners a bit like Parabolica where you're better off holding your accelerator and brake to get the balance of the car? So you got both pedals applied.
I don't know.
There's certain corners that respond well to that, because if your accelerator's going up and down, and your brakes are kind of being tapped every now and then, it's pushing the car the nose of the car down and then lifting it back up and pushing it down. I think sometimes you're better off maintaining a bit of acceleration or maintaining a bit of brake while you're accelerating, just to kind of give it a bit more poise, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'll try it.
I'm gonna have to do a few laps there again. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think it might be the way you're taking the corner though, because it's less of a U shape.
Yeah,
You kind of turn in and then straighten out and then turn in again afterwards.
Yeah.
It's a weird corner. Like you can't treat it like a traditional corner with one apex. It is kind of like a double apex turn.
Yeah. So my entry is maybe too closed, so it compromises the rest of the turn, because the first apex it's too early for me. So then it might be complicated to get the second, because I haven't turned it enough to hit the second apex correctly, because of the first part I haven't turned that much.
Well, I'm not sure where you're at, whether you've already done it or whether you don't want to do it, but I thought it'd be a good idea if we compared yesterday's Motec data between Rally and Tech G, just so that because I think there was some point about braking points. There's some points about minimum corner speed. That if we had both of those bits of data, then I'm sure we could all learn from it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just posted a video how to take that last corner in the brain. If you want to look at it.
Oh yeah, go on. Look at that first. Yeah.
And you want to pull up my Multec from yesterday?
Yeah, if you could,
from
and Rally as well.
The race.
Yeah, put it on
Okay, I got my
chat as well. Yeah, if you could.
But you'll notice, like, he turns in really sharp and then straightens out.
Straightens out, yeah.
And then turns again.
Yeah.
So you can't treat it like a single apex corner. You do have to treat it as a double apex, and you go super wide. So at about 2 minutes 18, you'll see it.
Yeah, the first part, like this, I go much like straight, like here.
Yeah, so you do want to get close to the wall. Like, I think you're doing what he's doing too.
Yeah.
But this part, see where he straightens out? You want to do that.
Yeah, I don't do that part and keep turning, and then I'm just too.
Yeah, because here you're slowing down here. That's what you want to do. You're using this area, the straight part, to brake. Because if you brake while turning, you're kind of. I don't know if your car can do it, but like you're gonna start oversteering, understeering, right? Whereas if you're straight, most braking power.
Yeah, well, when I brake while turning, the car is very twitchy, but
Yeah.
also I end up more on this zone. So then I can take the same line over because I'm too far in the inside. But
Yeah, because if you look at the G meter on the bottom left, you can tell he's going pretty straight at that point before this turn again.
yeah, the problem is I'm more this part, so I can turn that much because otherwise I would hit the barrier.
It's kind of a late apex too, because you want to be able to point it straight, but you can go really wide here because of how the track's made.
Yeah. So, do you want to check the Apex GT3?
Yeah, load up Rally and TechG's data from yesterday's race.
Do you want me to send it to him or just screen
put it
share
on,
mine?
No, put it on public. On the chat, like.
It's this one.
Yeah, that's one of them. Rally's going to stick his there in a minute.
Just like.
Look how tidy those files are.
I sent mine there too if you guys need it.
My file's too big.
How's your file too big?
It's 26 megs.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot for a Motec file.
It should be like, there's a 4.
I cranked up the resolution
Oh.
and stuff.
So
Really?
my file on sharing is like 20 megs.
Yeah, just do Joey, you weren't that much slower than Rally, were you? What happened in between you two anyway? Was it were you pretty close in pace, or was Rally just saying goodbye as usual?
No, it was pretty close. Just both of us were trying to get a gap to. I forget who was behind us. It was.
Was it Constantine?
I think so for most of it. I think he might have had issues for the last part of the race or something. I forget who was third.
Was it Constantine
Yeah,
or one of his teammates?
No, it was Constantine.
The one
This
who,
gifted.
the one who was saying minus circle or something. Minus one circle.
The one circle thing. Yeah, you know, I checked the replays actually, and I think Gui, you might have got distracted by me coming out of the pits, but I don't think I affected your racing line at all.
No, that was my fault. I kind of got a tire on the grass when I was trying to brake.
So that's one thing he blamed me for, and then I don't feel too bad now because he was behind me, and then he just bumped me off the track. So and he's complaining about me, and he just bumped me off the track.
Yeah, I think there's a lot lost in translation with that. I think.
Yeah. So
I think he might be kind of annoyed because I used the one when he bumped you to pass him.
When he bumped me, and then you passed him. That's right.
Yeah.
It was Kevin Ryan that finished third, and then Snowy in fourth, and Constantine finished fifth.
Yeah, Kevin was like a second behind me. He almost passed me a few times.
Yeah, once you started battling, I thought you might be done for there, because once you get sucked into a battle, then once your tires just start to heat up, and it's a slippery slope.
Now, the only thing with my laps is I'm not sure how much the damage I had from that first corner affected things. Like I was driving with quite a bit of aero and a slightly crooked suspension. So
this sounds like excuses already.
But I got beat up pretty good in that first corner. But
yeah.
as I said, it didn't it affected my pace massively. I mean, a little bit, but not massively.
I think we had it was most series are set to 20% damage, and I think this one is set to, I think is it 30 or 35.
I think it's
Yeah, it still wasn't too bad considering the amount of impact we had, if I'm honest with you.
But it is noticeable. I've noticed that you have like a medium-sized hit, and you do sustain a fair bit of damage, whereas before you get away with it.
And it just fucks with your top speed and stuff like that as well, doesn't it? So you're always a few miles an hour down in straight line speed and stuff. But
Yeah. So if you can put up, is that minimum corner speed?
Yeah.
It is there already. Yeah.
But it doesn't show both.
You can't do both at the same time, no.
No.
So you can just flick one between the other.
on the track you can't. Obviously on the graphs you can.
So you can maybe put up a channel report, you know, one of those graphs, and just do a channel report for each corner for both drivers.
Oh yeah.
Then we can just use a map overlay.
You're not bad after you've had a baked potato, are you, Simon?
Yeah,
Well,
no, it's quite tasty. Yeah. Or a sweater potato.
It's winter.
It's obviously a English thing no one else gets.
Well, I don't know whether he was taking the piss out of you, because then I was going to have to send you something invisible or whatever if you were that gullible, but I wasn't sure if he was or not.
Yeah.
Licton is saying in chat that Simon's nearly inaudible, and that he is surprised by the technical progress we have made.
Thank you, Licton. Thank you, Licton.
What does that mean?
Technical progress.
Well, I need to turn me up then. Right, stand by.
Well, this is it.
Well, I'm as loud as I can get.
You guys working in kilometers per hour or miles per hour?
Kilometers.
Yeah, these are kilometers. I wish it was miles per hour that we could do.
Yeah, I wish it was miles
230.
per hour. But, okay.
Well, I can change it.
Can you see my mouse on YouTube when I do this? I've got to have mouse battles.
What?
We're not watching. Haven't been watching the stream. You're streaming this, right?
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
I did warn you. You obviously didn't heed my warning. Well, I've got to look back at the first half hour because I've missed it, haven't I?
I didn't see your stream for the race, buddy.
No, I was having technical issues with 10 minutes ago with my steering wheel, and
Hang on, wasn't Licton just saying that you're a technical genius now?
no, I've sorted it out though. I've got a new wheel adapter coming because
I think
the cables
we've
are
run-
loose.
We've run out of things to break. We just find new ways to break them.
The channel is done.
So turn one then. Dewey is 1.4 kilometers faster.
And that's probably as a result of the last turn. Speed coming out of the that little last chicane
So
has a big impact on your speed in turn one.
On the previous lap, so lap 3 then, turn 15, you're at 209 and he's at 209. You're at 209.9.
This is the lap 27 for the tech.
Oh, right, okay.
These are the fastest laps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
It's a fastest lap versus fastest lap.
But that is what can affect that. I noticed when I did my comparison against Rally, he always had a higher top speed than me, so he was obviously getting out of the corners quicker than I was.
Well, is that a fair comparison because of the fuel load? I think you should maybe put in their fuel levels in that channel report and try and
I'm just gonna throw.
try and get one that's got a similar fuel level on it. Or will it make a big difference, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's difficult with these. Maybe for this type of thing, quali laps might be better comparisons than race
Yeah.
laps, because a lot could happen in race laps.
Yeah, but I don't think. Have you got data for that?
I tried to put everything, but just puts it one after the other, so it's like a massive line, massive row of turns on laps.
I like the quali laps idea. Do you guys have quali laps?
Yeah, I got a quali lap.
Yeah,
Sure.
I can probably
Yeah,
post them
yours
too.
might fit Rally, mightn't it? With your high resolution.
Yes.
Jan, we're going to load up quali laps. Is that all right?
Okay.
And we need some video syncing for next week. What do you reckon?
That could be good.
That could be a technical challenge.
Sounds like I think it would just be a logistical challenge. We're gonna have a lot of data coming into one computer if you're recording and all that too.
I think it might. Well, it's here a video file, but and then sync it over here, but I don't have any video.
Maybe you could go back and record afterwards.
Yeah, you should be able to do that.
Okay, my quali lap's up.
Should I upload mine?
Absolutely. Yeah, like I say, when I compared against Rally for our practice fastest laps, it was slightly later on the brakes on some corners, not on others. Carried varying speeds through, but generally he was always on the gas slightly earlier than me.
What would I miss?
You missed Licton commenting on our technical genius.
Under your leadership, buddy.
Hardly.
Yeah, but he says he's surprised by the technical progress we made.
That's a great fucking phrase. Oh god.
This is kind of like a transition from Bronze Age to Iron Age. That's what I'm feeling. We still have yet to get to any of the Industrial Revolution or Space Age yet.
Dude, this is fucking amazing is what I got to say. Be able to do this.
Well, yeah, Jan is the Motec master.
Well, this is the first lap.
Alright, this is quali lap, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there's not a lot of difference in your quali lap, you know. Riley, what did you get on quali lap?
218 something, I think, for Rally, wasn't it?
118. Was it a mid 118?
Rally, I can't remember. I think it was. I think it's a mid 118 he had, or somewhere around that.
Well, yeah, there's not a lot of difference there. There's only 0.7 difference between you two.
That's huge, buddy. 0.7.
Well, yes.
I made a big mistake coming out of the last corner, hitting the wall. Yeah, I forgot to just add that, so...
I hated
I think
that last corner.
maybe... Yeah, it was pretty bad, I don't know.
That last corner, are you talking about the chicane, or are you talking about...
The chicane.
Yeah.
If they just removed it, it would be so much better.
But it's not even just so much the chicane, it's then when the transition fucking point as well. It's like you just get a triple whammy there.
My best corner was the left hand turning into the chicane before you got to the chicane, and then the chicane and coming out. I was really good on that. Probably because I was cutting it very close, literally cutting it very close. Right, so what's this showing us? We've got TechG on the left.
Yeah. This is laps and sections time. The blue is the best time overall. This light green is the time is within 1% difference from the best, and this dark green is within 2%. So that's for the fastest routing minimum, the almost perfect lap of GUI.
Yep.
And then the last the chicanes, the last turn he messed it up, so the time is much lower than what it was.
Yep.
Or what it was supposed to be.
And then you've got two columns on the right of that. The eclectic, which is, from my understanding, the potential of adding up all your slowest, all your quickest sectors, what potentially you could get. And then the next column is realistically, if you did a perfect lap, that's what you could get.
Yeah. See, for example, the
So let's have a look at the braking areas and that. Be interesting. The speed. And the brake inputs as well. Because I was struggling, I kept blocking up for ages. And I spent ages with Drew working on that, and I think I got there in the end. I soon realised that basically I just had to not lock my tyres up, brake really early, and glide through the corners rather than slamming the brakes on, locking my tyres, and powering out of it.
here GUI is braking later than attack.
Yep. And there's also a crossover of the accelerator as well. Is that the accelerator? Brake position?
Which one?
Throttle position.
This.
Throttle position. Can you see, no, if you look to the left, go left a little bit on your cursor, see that cross over the two black lines, just to the left of the blue line? The two black lines cross over each other. To the left of the blue vertical line.
Yeah, so it looks like I'm still on the accelerator while I'm braking there.
Yeah,
This.
yes, exactly there. See the two black lines are crossing? It's because he's putting the brake on
And not letting off
while
the accelerator.
Both.
without accelerating. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't mean to do that generally.
Which I think is actually quite a good thing to do, I think, but I might have that wrong.
Yes and no. It depends. It totally depends on the corner sometimes to keep it balanced. But that first corner, you definitely didn't need to do that. You wanted to be on the brakes and then off them. As we was doing.
So Jui's braking later.
And is he being the brake harder on, especially in the end, until the corner?
Have you got... There's a line that's normally up there. I can't remember what it's called now. Let me go get my squiggly lines book out the library. Hold on.
Did he stay at the library? Does he live in like a sort of a castle or a mansion or something?
Did you not know about the Rook of Monsters library?
thought you had your own internal library.
It comprises of one book at the moment.
Okay.
Obviously, an extensive literary collection.
I've lost it. Hold on.
What did I miss? You guys hear me?
Is that you ready?
Yeah.
My internet just cut out. We are still looking at quality lap.
Yeah, we just started the turn analysis.
Okay.
let's get this light on. Getting old,
Wait,
I
did
can't
my-
see.
Jen, did you ever get my file?
Where?
Or is it too big again?
Where did you put it?
I guess it didn't post the first time. That should be the right one.
Right. Just going back to what I was saying, you've got corrected speed on there somewhere. And there's, as standard, there's another feature which Motec comes with, which I've seen, called variance. And
Oh yeah,
variance
the variance is good.
the variance shows you where you're losing time. So when you're not losing time, it's
Is
flat.
this one? Rally.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the options.
Ah, look at that. That's how you get it. See, I'm learning loads.
There's also a button on the right-hand side there, Simon. You know, where you see that little button, so the tabs. One of those is for variance as well. If you click on that,
You mean the top sort of row of buttons?
the right-hand side row of buttons on the screen.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Along there.
that,
I get it.
yeah, that one. I think that one there is variance.
Right. Okay.
It's also F3.
So I can read out some description of what it is. An overlay of 2 laps is great for finding where the speed differences are, but does not tell you how much time was lost or gained in each area. For that, we need to turn to variance. So this is a real quick way of showing where the time is lost and gained. So where it's flat, there's not much difference. Where there's peaks, then you know that's where the time has been gained or lost.
Here, Tech is losing time from the start because of the last lap exit of the last turn.
Yeah, okay. So he's losing all the way along the straight.
Hate that term.
And it's pretty flat around that corner. And then there's a bit of a peak between straight of 2 and 3 and 3 and 4.
Yeah, as we get to the straight again, which is what I found with rally, I just lose a lot of time coming out of those corner exits onto the straights.
Yeah, but here gains a bit of time, but
And
loses.
what's the minimum speed there of each driver at that particular point?
It's turn.
I think it's probably on that graph of that original one.
Yeah, it is on that graph. I saw the correlated speed line thing.
Yeah, the corrected speed. Let me just have a look.
Corrected
Corrected speed. So there's -2 difference. 94.3. It's now -0.7. Yeah, see, it's not miles per hour, it's kilometers per hour, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you'll see again when we get to the next corner, major corner exit before the straight. He's got a slightly higher speed than me all the way down the straight, pretty much. And that's where you lose a lot of time.
The throttle is no, it's a stop here, but when it applies it later, but harder.
Yeah.
So he's going. So green is Jouy, isn't it?
Yeah, and this black is Tech.
And he's going up and down a little bit more, as if he's kind of trying to get the rear end out. That's my only guess. He's turning the car by pumping the throttle a little bit.
Yeah, because it doesn't drop the throttle completely, but GUI does.
Yeah, and that's a bad habit of mine, to be honest with you. I tend to use the throttle and brake to steer through corners a lot, and I need to get off the throttle more and let it roll through the corners.
Right, okay.
My problem in that corner is I used to get a lot of oversteer on the exit. So if I didn't go on the throttle, it was easier to control.
Right.
But I think you having that oversteers helped you turn the car and helped you speed out of it.
Yep. If I cut up that corner sometimes, I'll get out of it a lot faster and gain time.
So what about? So keep moving along and see where the next bit of variance is.
It'll be coming to
Here,
the
the
next change.
variance keeps going up because of the exit.
Yeah. So let's have a look at this. So you're both crossing over your braking and acceleration zones.
Yeah, which corner is this? Yeah, that corner's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Sorry, is mine the colored lines?
I think Joey's loaded up at the moment.
Yeah.
I think it's me and Tech.
Oh no, it's rally now.
Oh, it is rally. Okay, yeah, there you go.
What I'm curious is, who are the 7 people watching the stream?
There's only 5 though.
Hi guys, whoever it is.
How there's 6 people watching the stream?
Someone's just gone.
Who are you people? Just kidding.
Show yourselves.
So not much difference in our approach to that corner by the looks of it. We both kind of keeping a bit of throttle, bit of brake to balance it out through that entry.
Yep, like it.
And then when we get to the exit, you'll see again, he'll start to pull away.
But Joey is also, if you look at the speed as well, just check the corrected speed. Just drag that line left. He's actually taking more speed. At any
Yeah,
point,
into the corner.
At any point, is he going slower than you?
No, what you find, that corrected speed is a little bit deceptive if you look at just that on its own. Either going into or through a corner, because it's all about the corner exit really. I mean, you can lose a little bit going in, and if you get a better exit onto a long straight, then you'll crush it.
No, fair enough.
On the throttle versus throttle. Yeah. Okay.
Rally.
So see again there, he's on earlier.
You're also in second gear on that part. Or if you go back to the midpoint of that corner, I'm in first gear and you're in second, Tech.
And that's probably our gearing. I actually lowered my second gear ratio so I could stay in second through some of those corners.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I
Okay.
don't want to be chopping up and down. And then as we come out.
But
Yeah.
did it work though? It doesn't look like it's worked.
Well, I don't know. I think to be honest with you, this is driving style a bit. Like I say, I've noticed definitely, and it helped a lot doing that analysis when Rally sent his one through, that his corner exits were always better. So I started to try and stay off the throttle a bit longer and get on it, and then just stay on it is what I tried to do. And it definitely helped me, I think. But I got to improve. I still got to improve.
And engine RPM. Look at the engine RPM coming through that corner. You see the.
And again, yeah, that makes sense.
The
That's what
gear
I'm
is
hearing.
different.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's maxing out his RPM more or less. 6.5, going down to 5.5, going up to 6.5 again, going down
Yeah,
and then up.
but here Rally changes to second gear.
And then we're matching again, pretty much.
Oh, but here the revs are higher on Tech side.
Yeah, Rally's changing lower.
And that's because of my lower gear ratio. So my
Yeah.
second, that's what's
Because
happening there.
here,
No, I think I'm talking about the revs though. Look at is the revs a lot of difference? Look at the peak of the black revs. Look at the peak of the red. So what's the maximum?
I think he just tuned his second gear, so
Yes.
it's
this is the
shorter.
maximum.
So he runs out and has to change.
That's exactly right. Exactly what I did. I tuned my second gear so I could keep in second all the way through that corner, and then change on the way out.
But that's what I'm saying is that 6, 6, 7, 8 at that peak of the black. What's the peak of the red? Just scroll it along to the peak of the red. 6.5.
6.5.
So yeah, it's not a lot of difference, is it?
Yeah, I don't think that's where it is. Like I said, I think it's all about his throttle application. He gets under throttle earlier and harder, basically, than I'm able to.
Yep.
And so he'll gain again all the way down this straight. And it's not much on the variance graph, but you know, it's a lot over the whole straight is the thing.
Well, at the start of the straight,
If you go to the start of the straight, you'll see whatever the variance was there, and it's probably at least 300 his gain,
well,
maybe
it
down
was
that
just
straight.
under a second.
So that's a second, and then by the end of that straight, what are we at? 1, 2, 1, 3.
It's not that much, I don't
No,
think.
it's not that much on that one actually.
Yeah.
So that straight we didn't have much difference on. The previous one we did, and I think the last one we will.
This is just before breaking. So 1.088.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was the corner that I struggled with the most.
Yeah, same here.
Because
This one I thought I'd figured out.
it doesn't look. It doesn't. How it looks on the map is not how I remember it in my head.
This map is generated by the GeForce, so it's not the layout. So the turns are more rounded. So it's not the same. Like this is not like suddenly the turn. You see.
I'm trying to figure out that. Yeah, it comes down there. Yeah, it's definitely that corner that I'm struggling with. That I hate that corner.
So just
I could
scroll down.
not get my breaking point right for that at all.
I was just using the 200 board.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, me too.
Man,
Maybe a little bit before it in the early stages of the
my front wheels are locking up. If I could do it at one point, but my front wheels are locking up too much.
What bias were you running?
Well, a little bit hotter, a little bit harder than normal. About 110.
Towards the front?
110 kpi. Just because I was trying to get the tyre wear balanced.
Oh,
No, I mean
what brake bias?
Oh,
brake bias.
I think it was between 51.5 and 51, depending on various things. What were you running?
I was running around 52, I think. So
Isn't it weird? I was at 47.
What,
47 in the front?
47, yeah, I was at 47. So most of mine was on the back. I had back brake bias.
Wow. But
Isn't it weird how the braking kind of works? And I found that actually when I've had these chats with other people, like everyone's brake pedals and everything, they're all just a little bit different, and it can really affect how your braking works in the game.
Were you running a soft suspension setup or a hard one? Which one did you go for in the end?
I went for the fairly, not hard, but medium hard. Yeah, it's a bit harder, definitely. I went for in the end.
Okay.
So coming into this is the crucial corner for me, because this is where you get the long straight, a lot of that speed. This one and the last one.
Yeah. And by the looks of it, the red braking position is braking a little bit earlier. Can you see that? More or less where the blue vertical line is now.
This is the drop off.
Am I looking at it right? Oh, I'm looking at it wrong. So he's releasing the brakes.
No, you are. You're looking at it
Yeah.
right. He's braking a little bit. Oh, that's a drop off. That's release.
Yeah, I was looking at the release. Yeah. So 100% brakes with a little bit of a waver through it towards the end.
Yeah, then I think he goes in the throttle for to get it turned.
Yeah, who's on the? You're on the throttle there, or I am. You're the coloured one, right, Ray? Or
Yeah, I'm the colored line.
yeah, and I stayed up the throttle there and kind of just rolled through that corner, I think.
And that's where you're, I think, getting it turned a bit easier than most of us. It's just a little bit of throttle just to skip the rear end out. Is that more or less what we're doing there, Raleigh?
I think so.
And I kept finding when I did that, it would just push. Like it wouldn't actually kick the end out. It would just bloody push.
I think that might just be a difference in setup. Depends how, like, all that stuff is just differentials and sway bars and stuff. Although this, this, I don't think in the race that this lap would have worked, just because in mid corner, like flipping the throttle would just send me spinning if I tried it the same way.
Right. So throttle brake. So he's on the throttle. So yeah, you can see he's on the throttle earlier than I am, and then he gets to
variance is going
100%.
up.
Yeah, it's a lot.
The corner exit, I'm telling you, that's where I was getting crushed on this track to compared to Riley's lap.
And what was your power diff setting on? Do you remember?
Either 20 or 25, I think.
And your preload?
I think that was 9. No, I think that was 9.
Quite high, was it? Okay.
Yeah, I think that was 9.
What is the peak power? When does that come around with the RPMs? Because your RPMs right at the apex of that long hairpin right there are around 4,000. Gain some.
And I think again that's my gearing. Yeah, I was in second. My adjusted second. Did I drop to first in that corner?
I don't know.
So
Actually,
talk us through what you got up here, Jan. Is this the
This is the torque, and this is the power.
What?
Engine torque
I
here
didn't know we could do that.
with the throttle input. This is the same with the power and the throttle input, color coded.
and what are those blue lines at the bottom?
This is the negative, the brake, engine brake.
Oh, engine braking. So it's pulling on the wheels. Okay, right.
So looking at that, it's around 5, 6, 5, 7, is it? I mean, sorry, 6. What's it at?
Peak horsepower is 5.5 by the looks of it. And
5.
And your torque drops off about 5.5. So this is what I was saying about the I mean, your perfect window, I think, is going to be between, if you wanted to have a window of say 1500 revs, it's going to be between about 5.2 to 6.7, something like that, maybe. For your horsepower, I don't know about what you guys think.
No, but the horsepower is also depending on the RPMs. So even if the torque is lower, it may have a higher power because
that's right.
the RPMs are higher.
I don't know. I found if you change too early with these cars, you do lose a bit of. Like don't max it, but yeah, I know it's kind of weird. I tried it both laps ways and changing early. I don't know. It didn't seem to gain me any time. That's for sure.
I think it's just this track. I think that there are some tracks where it will suit to get to change early, and if nothing more than for massive fuel savings.
It should with the torque it has, but I don't know.
Well, I was comparing, if Licton's still listening, last week's race, and
we can compare the gearing here.
Oh yeah, he got 2 more laps out of his fuel than I did. And 2 laps is, I don't know how many seconds that is, but that's at least 2 seconds in the pit.
Yeah, provided you don't fully fuel again anyway, like we both did.
Well, yeah. So what is this?
So
Go on.
This is the gearing, the RPMs according to the speed. So you can see these lines are the gears, and then in gear change.
I gotta go. I'll be right back.
So you can see the rally's changing a lot, considerably lower RPM. Tech G is changing at higher RPM. Let's say from fourth gear, he's changing at 6. Tech's changing at 6.6, whereas Rally's changing at 6.4 on average.
Oh, I got you. I was trying to understand what these graphs were telling us, but I got you. Yeah.
I think they're just scatter graphs, so they
Yeah.
dump a circle every every second or every tenth of a second.
No, that's interesting still, though.
Yeah, that you can see the difference in the gearing and the changes because
So Rally had slightly longer gearing as well, by the looks of it.
yeah,
He did for the upper gears, yeah. I think mine were all fairly close.
And they're all your negatives. Oh, I see. Look at you changing down that.
I'm gonna edit the gear number.
Oh yeah, okay.
The RPMs are so low. Maybe I don't know the torque, and it's out. The Tech G is in second at 3,400 reps. Meanwhile, Rally is over 6,000.
And that, well, maybe he's come off, or maybe that's a pit stop. No. And that's going very slow as well. That's doing like 10.
No, that's that. Yeah, that's that corner where I'd adjusted my gearing, and I'm in second. You see, I'm in second there, and he's in first. That could be an issue coming out of that corner. Maybe I'm too low, even with the torque.
On the x-axis, there's also the speed, so there's the difference in the speed.
Yeah.
Here it's before the back straight.
Yep.
So you'll see I rarely come out of second, and he's in first on a lot of the slower corners.
So let's check the variance. Look at the variance here.
Yeah. What corner is that? So, which one's that on the map?
The
That one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we're doing on like.
the difference here is big, like
Yeah.
13
Kilometers
kph.
an hour.
Yeah. Even though here it goes faster, but then it loses.
So go back to that biggest variance change, mid corner, and have a look at the tyre temperatures at that point.
Rallies are higher.
These are a lot higher, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think any of those are crazy tire temps wise. They're all in a reasonable range.
Yeah.
It's literally maybe something partly gearing, but partly getting on the accelerator that fraction faster than I am, and that makes all that difference right there because it's such a slow corner.
What tyre pressures are you running as well?
I think minimum on the back, on the front. No, minimum left side, and slightly higher on the front and right side, but not huge difference.
Yeah. Well, look at those tyre pressures of rallies. They are a lot higher, aren't they?
And which again, if his tires are getting hotter,
That would explain
that would make sense. Yeah.
But are they like that through it? Oh right, yeah.
So the front, no, the right side have more pressure than the left side on Tech G, but on rallies the difference is not that high.
What about throughout the whole lap? So your left-hand ones, Tech. Is it the left-hand ones are higher for Tech?
No, the left
lower, I
ones
think.
are lower.
Yeah.
Or the right-hand ones?
And that makes sense. My pressures, well, I put my pressures up more on the right-hand side to balance out the temperatures over the race.
But if you look at rallies, his are closer, much closer together. And maybe for qualifying it works. Maybe yours is better for race.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think qualifying, you just want them, just bang them down low and get them up to temperature and crack it out. But like I say, I mean, I'm convinced, having studied that, it's more to do with the corner exit. You got to get the car turned, and then get on the accelerator as hard and as fast as you can.
Well, I think we'll carry on with this if you want to do this every week. And I can use this book as a template of something for us to talk about, and I'll scan it in and post it up before we discuss it.
When is that Sebring race?
23rd, I think it is. No, 24th. I've got it. I'm looking at my calendar. It's right on my desk. Got it circled. 12 hours Sebring, circle number 24.
So that's a couple of weeks, right? Is that even a couple of weeks? Yeah. So maybe next Monday we should do a Sebring one, just dedicated to Sebring, or do a few laps there and do some comparisons, see where Rally's whooping our ass.
Yes. And are you up for doing a bit of Sebring then? Are you?
Oh yeah, totally.
Fantastic. All right. We'll put some practice in then. I think I'll need to start practicing this week really, but I'm waiting for my wheel adapter.
Yeah, I might do a few laps there after we finish here.
I was only doing on Rally server, wasn't I? Yeah, I might have a quick go on it now. So.
Have they got their server up?
Yeah, they have. Yeah. All right. Well, should we finish it there then?
Yeah, Jan, that was awesome. Really good, man.
Good. All right. I'm going to stop streaming. If I can press the right button.